Companies are increasingly moving to cloud-based infrastructure to improve agility, gain unlimited scalability, and lower costs. When moving to the cloud, organizations look for the scalability, performance, reliability, and security of the provider's global infrastructure. AWS delivers a cloud infrastructure companies can depend on, no matter their size, changing needs, or challenges. It's designed and built to deliver the most scalable, reliable, and secure cloud computing environment with the highest quality global network performance available today. AWS offers the world's largest global footprint with 66 availability zones, or AZs, across 21 regions. Each region has multiple AZs, separated and isolated from one another and connected by low latency, high throughput, and highly redundant networking. These AZs offer easier and more effective design and operation of applications and databases, ensuring higher availability, fault tolerance, and scalability than traditional single data center infrastructures. Within each AZ, our data centers have been designed with custom, purpose-built compute servers, storage servers, routers, and silicon. By using its own custom hardware, AWS provides the highest level of reliability and the fastest pace of innovation, all at the lowest possible cost. With 20 years of experience operating one of the world's largest websites, 12+ years of cloud infrastructure expertise, and millions of customers running every imaginable use case, AWS is uniquely positioned to deliver superior operational performance customers can depend on for their most important workloads. Visit the website to learn more.
I'm a full-stack developer, cloud engineer, and I work in Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. I'm here in the United States because in Puerto Rico we got hit by Hurricane Maria. And after the event, the job market was just not there for me, so I had to relocate to Florida. And while I was in Florida, job searching in different areas, you get to see the job market. And I realized that AWS was like on 80% of the current positions. So I said, I need to kind of revamp my skills and kind of get updated to the latest cloud technologies. The way AWS Educate connects all topics is awesome because you can start in any pathway. And then once you pick 2 or 3 different pathways, you realize that these dots connect with each other. And then they help you understand the big scope. Once you go through a few of them, then you realize, oh, I know exactly how to use these services and how to plug them in together to deliver apps. And then when I had my first interview for cloud engineering, pretty much all the knowledge I said in that interview was based on what I learned on AWS Educate. Technology is changing so fast and tools that are being built are just adjusted to the time. So I'm not even sure where exactly it's going to take me, but I know that the path is broad and wide, and I have so many choices at this moment because it's really taking my skills to the next level, kind of giving me superpowers in a way.
Welcome back to another episode of the Community Ignite series. Let's give it up for Sir Rafael Kisambi.
So my talk is basically trending. What are the AWS cloud services and how to become a cloud practitioner? 80% of these enterprises use Amazon Web Services as their primary cloud platform. Now, AWS is notorious, I would say infamously notorious for having so many services. So popular AWS services or core AWS services that you must master. This is the VPC or Virtual Private Cloud. Okay? And what is compute? It's basically transformation of data. Okay? You need a computer to transform data. Okay? It's a EC2 or your Elastic Compute Cloud. So in the cloud, in AWS, this is called AWS Simple Storage Service. This is monitoring our resources, so it's our meter in a sense.
This is co-presented by Amazon Web Services and AWS Cloud Pilipinas.
My name is Michael. I'm a lead cloud infrastructure architect. My journey started by relocation to Canada, actually for Amazon itself. I started my career in Amazon fulfillment technology, and 2 years ago I joined AWS ProServe. I joined as cloud infrastructure architect, then get promoted to senior role. Cloud infrastructure architect team works with direct customers, partners, and other professional services team itself. Our role is design and build architecture, which is catalyst for cloud journey for the customers. Cloud itself, there's always everything changing. So we need to keep up, and this is something which is the most exciting and the most challenging in the same way. My greatest accomplishment is actually see how the people I interview, how successful they are in their work. This is something which makes me feel proud of myself.
We're a software as a service vendor that provides data management services to government to help them track the performance of their policies around the world. One of the biggest challenges for us as a small player, as a small early stage startup, is finding the right infrastructure for us. We're currently working with a number of government agencies in New South Wales. One of the biggest challenges was providing them with onshore Australian-based hosting, and fortunately we were able to get that through AWS. They were able to provide us with the necessary infrastructure to bring all of our services from our original cloud platform in the US and bring it all here to Australia. The one big benefit for us working with AWS has been around how we're more prepared to take our work globally. We're a small team that needs to be quite agile and quite flexible in what we do, and AWS has given us the capability to meet those needs. We don't need to bring on a large DevOps team when we've got the ability to deploy it out to AWS products such as ECS and Fargate. It allows us to do more with less and provide those same benefits off to our clients. What I'm most excited about with AWS is continuing our work in the health and social welfare spaces so that we can continue to work with our government clients to make sure that they can manage and improve the lives of the citizens that they work with. Thanks to AWS, we're being provided with the infrastructure to work here locally in Australia and be able to export our technology on a global scale to compete in the international market.
And welcome to the 27th episode of the Community Ignite series, Building Modern Apps with Containers.
My name is Donny Prakoso. I'm a AWS Senior Developer Advocate covering for ASEAN. I'm super happy to be here again and share with you on how you can build applications with AWS. To win customers, they need to build better products. And to build up better products, they need to release features faster. And containers, as one of the modern technology, it can help us to manage all of these challenges. First, we have Amazon ECS for you who wants to deploy and operate your container apps. We also have EKS if Kubernetes is your preferred flavor. And you also have two options for hosting your containerized application. If you want to have granular control, you can use Amazon EC2. And that's actually why AWS released AWS Copilot. It's a command line interface, or CLI, that you can interact in your terminal, which enables you to quickly launch and easily manage containerized application on AWS.
This is co-presented by Amazon Web Services and AWS Club Filipina.
Medyo scary, no? In choosing a school, a course, or a career path, there is so much to explore. But that's why we're here. Don't know where to start? Mag-browse ka muna sa blog namin. Baka ma-inspire ka sa mga student advice, study hacks, and adulting guides. Meron kami niyan dito. Or learn about career paths that match your skills and interests. Or chat with us. Tanong mo lang, we'll point you in the right direction. O let's say may dream school ka na. You can search for it and learn more about their programs and scholarships. At kung di ka pa decided, don't worry. Search and compare different schools to fit your needs. Pag ready ka na, submit an application. Easy. Maybe you're looking for a new hobby, certification, or degree? We've got online courses for that, and the learning doesn't stop there. Join a quest and pick something up with each visit through articles or videos. And the best part, you get to earn coins and redeem real rewards. Kaya sali na! With the right tools and information, we can find the best opportunities for you. Because the future can be scary. Pero tiwala lang. Keep exploring, keep learning with Edukasyon.ph.
Again, happy Thursday and happy Women's Month, everyone. Welcome to the Community Ignite series. Tonight is the 32nd episode, and today we're going to learn all about getting started with infrastructure as code in AWS, because it is time to make the switch. So now we're going serverless and automated on AWS right here. Ayan. So let me introduce myself. I am your host for tonight, Darla David, a Technical Community Manager of Edukasyon.ph and an AWS Community Builder. So we value your time and spending your Thursday evening to learn with us. So before we ignite your night, let us now know that you are here by saying where you are from and if you're a student or a professional. Let us also know what university you're from or your profession. So yan, comment nyo dyan kung saan galing kayong university, ano yung name nyo, or anong profession nyo. Hello, Jasmine from Pampanga. Who else would like a shout out? Hello, Franco from Laguna University. Hello, Ember from University of Caloocan City. So dadagan nyo na rin ng kunyari, cute na software engineer, ganun. So we are also live on Facebook. Hello po sa ating FB Live viewers. Don't forget, ayun na, may nagsabi na dito, hello Patrick, siya daw ay cute na DevOps engineer sa UST. Yan, lagyan nyo naman ng mga adjectives, ganon. So again, hello sa ating FB Live viewers. Don't forget to tag your friends and share this live. Let us also help others learn from our very own industry leaders. Ayan, sino po yung mga cute dito? Sino yung mga beautiful, pogi, ganon? Ayan, JP, hello from Cagayan de Oro. Hello then from SCI. From Eugene, si Kristanine from Philippine Christian University, programmer, cutie, ayan. So, if this is your first time joining us, Community Ignite series brings people to uplift fellow developers and professionals in the Philippines. So with different guest speakers all over the world sharing their expertise in the field. So whether you are a student, professional, or career shifter, this series is the one for you. So join us every Thursday, 6 to 7 p.m. This event is all for free, comes with an e-certificate, and is co-presented by Amazon Web Services and AWS Club Pilipinas. Hello, mabuhay din Marlu from Philippine State College of Aeronautics. Ayan, mayroon tayong ditong poging AWS Solution Architect, si Sir Darwin Ordonia. All right. So the last episode was all about automated vulnerability management with Amazon Inspector. In case you missed the previous talks, you can watch the highlights on our socials. Yan. So AWS Club Pilipinas on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and you can watch the full episodes. Yung mga nagtatanong ng recording dyan, you can watch the full episodes on the Community Ignite series playlist on the Ed TV YouTube. Yan. So going back to the chat, tingnan natin kung sino na ang mga nagpapakilala. You know, from the past few episodes, I always ask you guys kung kamusta yung week nyo or ano yung ginawa nyo today. So for tonight, gusto ko talaga i-level up naman yung mga introduction natin. For example, hi everyone, I am Darla, your bongalicious host for tonight, and a third year computer science major from FU Alabang. Ganun! So meron din tayo si Talia, a mechatronics technology student, wow, bongga, from TUP. We also have Kyla from BSITP, UP Bataan. I'm doing all right. Thank you so much, Sir Joffrey, for asking. Hello, Al Rosales, a career shifter, a music theater graduate from Krisha. Hello, ayan. Hi, everyone. And I know, ayan, wala na bang dyan, another, poging software engineer, sexy na programmer, matalinong chef, mga ganon. Ayan, para bongga, right? And I know na bongga rin ang speaker natin for tonight. So I'm definitely excited to learn today's topic. And with that, I would like to introduce our speaker. Ayan, so here to empower women in tech is a cloud engineer as Cascadio. She is an aspiring cloud solutions architect who aims to work with her clients in improving their business according to their set goals and objectives with the use of vast cloud services. So she is also currently a certified AWS Cloud Practitioner and Solutions Architect Associate with experience in both software development and cloud DevOps. She also likes working with people and learning new things, and doing what she loves drives her to always work hard and continue improving both her soft and technical skills, to add every value in every project she engages in. Ayan, so let us all give a warm welcome to Miss Veronica Medrano. Hello, Miss Nika. Are you there? How are you feeling tonight? Ikaw na ba? Cutie, Miss Nika Medrano. Ayan, how are you?
Hello, very energetic na speaker natin. And very cute also, Darla. Thank you.
All right, thank you po. You may take it away, you may share your screen, and you may start. Good luck po, Miss Nika. I'll see you later.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for registering to this talk on getting started with infrastructure as code in AWS. Before we start, I actually sent a survey in the chat box. So please answer them and we'll see the results later. So I'll send it again. So let me know if you can also hear me clearly. Yeah. Yeah. So please answer the survey for us to like gauge your knowledge on infrastructure as code in general. So anyway, our agenda for today. So let's get started. Just a moment. I'll just share my screen. Okay, can you clearly see my screen right now?
Yep, we can see your screen.
Great. Okay, so our agenda for today, I'll start with an introduction of myself and Cascadio, our company, and then proceed with discussing what infrastructure as code is, its benefits, it really is, and then I'll also discuss AWS Cloud Formation, an AWS service used as an IaC tool, and then I'll discuss its features. I'll also provide a demo for you to be able to actually know and see it for yourselves. After the demo, I'll discuss just mention other IaC tools that you can use in your setup. And then afterwards, we'll do a question and answer portion for you to raise your concerns, if ever, regarding the topic. Okay, so let's proceed. So hello everyone, I'm Nika Medrano. I'm a certified AWS Solutions Architect Associate and a professional Google Cloud Architect. I was a graduate of BS Computer Engineering in Ateneo de Manila University. I'm from batch 2020. And then currently, I'm a senior cloud engineer at Cascadio Corporation. So how I got into cloud actually was I was part of the internship program of Cascadio. So during our fourth year or last year in college, Cascadio hired us to become interns. So there they introduced cloud to us, and then they mainly AWS, and then they actually let us take AWS Cloud Practitioner exam. It's an introduction to AWS, and then provided us like mini projects to work on for us to be familiar with cloud. So fast forward to now, they hired us after graduation, and then until now they keep giving us projects where we learn from different cloud aspects. Yeah. So more about Cascadio. Cascadio is actually an AWS premier consulting partner and managed service provider. So we have 16 years of professional services and managed service provider delivery. What do we deliver? So we deliver cloud solutions. We provision, we optimize, we manage cloud solutions, which is in line with our tagline on the left, which is powering your transformation to the cloud. So we mainly do cloud consulting. All right. So far, actually, Cascadio has been recognized with different awards like shown in the screen, but one of the most significant is being part of Gartner Magic Quadrant in public cloud IT transformation services. Okay, so actually for this talk we specifically picked this topic of infrastructure as code in AWS because given our nature of work, since we are in we create cloud solutions for customers, right? So one of the main tools we actually use is infrastructure as code for easier cloud solution delivery. Yeah. Okay. So I sent a survey, right? So let's check the results of that survey on what are your thoughts about infrastructure as code. So let's see. So before I actually formally introduce, so let's see your thoughts on it. Okay. So the most word that you've mentioned are infrastructure, code, but there's also managing, provisioning, their configuration, coding, what else? Yeah, so management, building, computer process, configuration. Okay, actually most of it are correct, like DevOps, networks. I'll discuss it more later, but yeah, you're on the right track. Good job. Okay, so speaking of infrastructure as code, before we actually dive into it, I will discuss first what do we mean by cloud infrastructure. Okay, so when we talk about cloud infrastructure, so these are basically the underlying components, hardware or software that we use, like servers, um, its operating systems, networks, in order for our applications to run successfully. So for example, we have a website. So in order for this website to run and for us to be able to access it, um, you might need servers for compute, storage for your files, databases, and network. For example, you need your application to access the internet and the like. So all these are what we call infrastructure, and these infrastructures are all provided by Amazon Web Services or AWS. So we can access all these through the internet with the help of the different cloud providers available. Okay. Feel free to ask questions if ever. Okay, nice. So what does it mean to be awarded the Gartner? So it's actually a national, an internationally recognized, like top, if ever, top cloud consulting providers and stuff like that. So you can search it up, like Gartner awards for public cloud um, services and such. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so in order for us to use our AWS infrastructure or cloud infrastructure for our applications, we have to manage it. We have to configure it, right? So, but how do we usually manage, create, delete it, etc.? So in for basic, for basic and for usual way of managing it, when you're getting started with AWS, what we do is we use the AWS Management Console. So this is a website provided by AWS, and then it has a user interface that you can easily interact with what type of infrastructure you want to run for your application. It's good, it's easy. However, it's sort of manual. It's a manual process which you need to, if ever you need a server, you have to go from this page to this page. And then if you need a database, you have to go to another page. It's a click button website, but if you're gonna like launch a very high level infrastructure or a very large scale infrastructure or architecture, it's very tedious. It's very it takes a long process if you're gonna log in from one account to another. Yeah, so it's very hassle. So if ever you need a very large scale architecture, you might consider different options. Another option that AWS provides is using the AWS CLI and AWS SDK. Sorry, that's SDK. So these actually are what we call like command or API based ways of launching our resources. So they may be less manual than using the console, but in a way, it's still a bit challenging to launch all the different types of infrastructure all at once in a standard format, especially if it's a large scale architecture. Because as you see here in the slides, EC2 is like running a server, run instances. It's like running a server for your application. If you switch to database, running a database, the commands might be different. So since every resource has their own set of commands, it's very difficult to like manage them centrally and like manage them all at once if ever we're gonna use AWS CLI or AWS SDK. So because of these, let's proceed with a summary, a short summary of the challenges we encountered when using the first three proposed tools in managing infrastructure in AWS. The first one, it requires manual or custom provisioning per type of infrastructure, like for example, servers, databases. It's since it's a click button, you have to go from one page to another. So deployment is not easily repeatable. So you have to remember each configuration you did for the first account and then the second account and the stuff like that. And it's also difficult to track what we have launched in one window. And then it's difficult to maintain and do modifications for large scale and architecture. Like if you're gonna run different infrastructure in multiple accounts, regions. So we have those challenges. So with those in mind, let me introduce to you infrastructure as code. So IaC is actually the management and provisioning of infrastructure through code in a descriptive model. So what do we mean by descriptive model? So descriptive meaning you just describe what infrastructure you need and its configuration. So for example here, our requirement is to run a Linux server in multiple regions and accounts. So what we do, instead of using the management console, which is a manual process, log in, log out of each account, region, and stuff like that, we specify a template. So here, as you can see on my screen, is a template. It's a snippet of the template where we describe that we need Linux server. So it's a server, an EC2 instance, what we call an AWS, and then that server should run a Linux operating system. So we should indicate that in the properties of that server. So after that template has been done, has been established, we can run it into multiple regions, like region 1, 2, and multiple accounts seamlessly. So instead of like logging in, logging out of every AWS account we have, we just run this using an IaC tool that we're going to discuss in a little while. Okay, so it's also useful when we can see like this type of architecture. So if you're going to use a lot of infrastructure, it's easier to manage, it's easier to track if you're gonna put it in one template only, and run that template. You will be able to provision all those infrastructure in one go. Yeah, so there. Okay, so if we're clear with infrastructure as code, I will also introduce the AWS provided service for IaC, which is AWS CloudFormation. So AWS CloudFormation uses YAML. YAML is like the one shown on the left, the black box there. It's more readable. It's easy to read since you just describe what type of infrastructure you want, and then its configuration in a readable manner. While for JSON, it's less readable than YAML, but you can also use it for parsing, especially for programmers there, etc. So, okay, so moving on, you can access AWS CloudFormation using the AWS Management Console. I discussed it a while ago, or through command line interface. So if you have access to the command line interface of AWS, you can also provision using CloudFormation using that. AWS CloudFormation is also AWS managed. So a few things that AWS does for us when we use CloudFormation is that it manages the state of our infrastructure. So meaning, if ever we will launch or deploy a set of infrastructure, AWS like tracks it for us natively in the AWS um, functions. And then it also automatically rolls back. So if it means that if ever you have changes to your infrastructure or configuration, but you encountered an error, so what will happen? So AWS will roll back to the working status of your infrastructure or deployment automatically. So it's a built-in feature of AWS CloudFormation. More about CloudFormation. So key concepts of it is you have to remember three main things. One is the term resources. When we say resources, this is a term that we use in AWS when we mention about infrastructure. So what I mentioned a while ago about the compute, servers, the databases, storage, network. So these are all infrastructures, and we call that resources, AWS resources that we want to provision or launch. Okay, so the next concept we want to know when knowing CloudFormation is templates. Templates are the code. So these are the code shown on the middle of the screen. So it is a code where we describe the resources we want to provision. So we describe there the configuration and stuff like that. So it's a standard, it has a standard way of describing different resources that we want to put in AWS, deploy in AWS. And then last concept, basic concept is stacks. So when we talk about stacks in CloudFormation, these are groups of launched resources. So if ever you'll group database and network together, so those are what we call stacks for CloudFormation. I'll discuss it more for our demo later, but you have to remember all these three things because these are the basic terms we need to know when knowing AWS CloudFormation. Okay, so in using AWS CloudFormation, we need a few things. So before we actually use this tool. So first, we need an AWS account. So in this course, I won't actually, and in the demo, I won't actually demo how to create an AWS account. But if you want to create one, or if you don't have one still, you can go to this link in the slides for you to be able to create one. And then the next one, when you have an account, automatically you'll have access to that account, right? So you need AWS credentials. So you can access your account to using two main things. The first one is through AWS console, where you need username and password. And the second one is AWS CLI, or the command line interface, where you need access key and secret access key. So you need that when deploying using CloudFormation. And the last one, a prerequisite, is a template. So the template again is the code that we need to describe our resources that we would provision in AWS. In creating a template, what do we need to do? So basics, just the basics. This is for just to describe and to give you an overview on the three main components you need in order to create a working template. So the first one are what we call resources. Again, those are just infrastructure. The second one are the parameters. Parameters are basically variables that we can specify to customize resources each launch. These variables can be changed every deployment. So if ever, for example, you have account one, this account one, you want to launch an operating system that is in Windows. And then in account two, you want an operating system that is in Linux. You put that operating system as a parameter. And then using the same template, you can customize your deployment using parameters for every account that you want. And then outputs are just values we want to have available after the stack is created. I'm going to show you more about these concepts later in the demo for you to visualize it. And then for others, I think other people are quite overwhelmed with programming, especially for those who are not programmers talaga. But um, don't worry, it's not actually that difficult to get started with the creating a template in AWS CloudFormation, because first it's a descriptive model. So as I mentioned a while ago, you just describe what resource you want to have and then its configuration. But at the same time, AWS provides very easy to understand documentation on how to do the syntax. They give examples and also have sample templates that you can run automatically in AWS if you need to get started with AWS CloudFormation. Okay, so enough with the terms. Some might be overwhelmed with the terms, but I'll show you a demo with a simple architecture for us to be able to explain clearly all the parts that I've mentioned a while ago. Okay, so this simple architecture just contains two resources, two infrastructures. So one is a server. It's a server that launches a Linux operating system. We call it in AWS EC2 instance, the server itself. And then we'll also launch a security group. So this security group acts as a firewall to our server. If you're familiar with the firewall, so it protects our server and only allows certain ports for us to access that server, right? So we have two resources and we'll proceed with the demo. Here is the template I was talking about a while ago. So don't be overwhelmed. This just describes two resources. And then as you can see, as I mentioned a while ago, so it has three main parts: the parameters, the resources here, and then the outputs. Okay, so these two, aside from the three main parts, are just for best practices: the AWS template format version and a description of the resources that will launch using this template. So this template, based on the description, will launch an Amazon EC2 instance, our server, that is running on Amazon Linux operating system, and a security group that will act like a firewall for the server. So let's start with the parameters. A parameter, like what I mentioned a while ago, you can customize it for every deploy, right? So we have three parameters. The image ID, it's like description of the operating system we'll use and its configuration. And then a key name. So a key name is like a file that acts as a password for us to be able to SSH into the instance. And then an instance type is the type and the size of our server. So how many CPUs do we want to run our server and stuff like that. So actually, there are a lot more types of servers aside from these three that I put here, but these are only for the basics and for the purpose of the demo. Okay, so the next part are the resources. The resources are actually the infrastructure will run, right? So for example, the first one, we only have two. So the first one is the server. So AWS EC2 instance is the way of defining what resource we want to launch. And then it has properties like the instance type, the security group, the key name I mentioned a while ago, image ID. So that's the operating system. So what type of operating system will choose Linux at this time? And then the next one is a security group that acts like a firewall, right? So this one describes that it will open the port 22. It's for SSH. It's a TCP protocol. And for this demo only, I opened it to all. So it's 0.0.0.0/0 in order for everyone to access it for now. But we'll delete this instance quickly, so doesn't matter what IP address we put there for here for now. So lastly, the outputs. The outputs are available after the resource is successfully launched in AWS. So for example, the server, the instance, will generate an ID that can identify it after it's launched successfully. So we want to have like centralized um, way of actually referencing that parameter if ever we need it. Okay, so that's it for the template. I'll proceed with the provisioning of the template in AWS. So first we'll use the console. Since we're gonna use the console, we'll log in using username and password. So let's go to our account. There you go. We use the username and then password here. Okay, and then sign in. So before we do anything else with CloudFormation, we'll first inspect the EC2. EC2 is where we'll launch the server, right? So we inspect this and see if there's any resource available there. We can see that there's none. Another thing that we need from this console is that we need to see if we have a key pair. So a key pair is a file that we can use as a password to SSH into our instance, right? To access our instance. So we can see that we don't have any key pairs. So I'll create one quickly here. And then it will ask us to download the key pair. So it's a file that we'll use to access our EC2 instance, but we're actually not gonna do that in the demo. But we need that for the AWS CloudFormation to launch successfully. Okay, so now we're done there. Let's go to AWS CloudFormation. Okay. Let's just wait for a little bit. And then when we're gonna launch a stack, the resources, the group of resources in AWS, we do create a stack with new resources. And then since we already have the template that I mentioned a while ago, we upload a template file and then choose file. And we select the file that we used, that I described a while ago. Okay, so we have uploaded the template already. Before we continue, I'll just show you this. It's a designer. So just a moment. I'll remove this. Okay, so we have this designer that can visualize our code into a template. So just a moment, let it load. There you go. So this is what I showed you a while ago. So an EC2 instance and a security group will launch using that template. Okay, so let's continue with creating our stack. So let's create a stack name here. Stack console. And then this is what I was talking about a while ago, about the parameters. So the image ID is what we will indicate if we want to like specify an operating system and the like Windows, Linux, and then instance type like what I mentioned a while ago, you can edit the parameter outside of the template um, through this page, and we'll continue choosing T2 micro, and then create the trial key name. Select the trial key name that we created a while ago. Select next, and then scroll down. Let's keep the defaults for this. Scroll down again. This is just a review on the things that you will provision, and then let us create stack. So as you can see here, you created a stack, and this stack contains two resources. So this is named stack console, and then in events, you can see what is happening. So it's creating still, right? So you can see in the tabs here that there are resources. We have EC2 instance and then security group. For the output, it doesn't have any output yet because, as I mentioned a while ago, you need to finish running. So it's in progress still. So we have to wait before we have an output here. So the next column is the parameter. So the parameter is like an image ID, the instance type, and the key name. You can reference it here. And then the template that we uploaded a while ago is, you can reference it here as well. Okay, so let's see if we have created it successfully. So yeah, there you go. So the EC2 instance has successfully been created, and we can now go to the outputs. You can see here that there's an instance ID already, right? And then the public IP of the instance. You can reference all of the parameters here. Okay, so let's see what we provisioned. So let's go to the instances. Okay, there. You can see it's blank a while ago, but right now it has an instance in running state, and then it's initializing still. So there, we have that provision seamlessly using the template. Another thing, while we're here in the AWS Cloud Formation, I'll discuss another feature, which is what we call change sets. So it's like creating a draft deployment that you won't um, affect your running resources. So we have this, right? Remember that we have T2 micro here. We have to create a draft first. Like we would like to create a draft for, we don't have to, but I just want to create a draft first for us to know like what changes will happen without actually affecting my resource or my infrastructure. So I'll create a change set. I'll use the current template. And then instead of T2 micro, we'll use T2 nano. And then again, we provision, again, create change set. So if we create a change set, like while it is pending here, okay. So as we can see, it shows us what will change. And then if we go to JSON changes, we can see that the EC2 instance will change. And then what will change? The instance type will change from micro to nano. But since this is only a change set, we can see here that nothing changed. So this is still not in nano, it's still in micro. So in order for the change to be executed, to be reflected in our instance, you have to execute the change set. So there, that's how change set works. And it's very useful in terms of like production, especially production deployments and the like. Okay, so aside from provisioning AWS CloudFormation in the console, what if you don't have like access to the console? What if you only want to use AWS command line interface? So let's go back to this slide. And here are some commands that we can use in order to like create a stack. But instead of like pushing only the buttons, we just execute this command. So I will copy and paste this. So let's see if this will work. So yeah. Okay. So we have successfully, so again, sorry. We have successfully provisioned a stack here, and we just used the CLI of AWS. As we can see, there you go. So there's another stack that was created using the CLI, and it mirrors what we did in the console basically, but we did it using the terminal or the command line. So there, as you can see, the change set has been successfully executed. Let's go back to the instance. And then, oh, as you can see, we have a one T2 Nano and then another one T2 Micro. Okay, there. So that's it for the demo. Let's proceed again with the slides that we have. So, okay, so what I mentioned a while ago are the change set. So a change set is like a draft deployment that you can see the changes before actually affecting your resources. And then you can also, AWS CloudFormation also offers this feature of stack sets. So as you can see a while ago, it only runs for our specific account and our specific region. So going back to this one, so it only runs in North Virginia, and then it only runs in this account specifically. But if you want to like centrally manage and deploy in a single operation for multiple accounts and multiple regions, it is what we call stack sets. So that's also a feature of AWS CloudFormation. So wrapping up the AWS CloudFormation and its benefits. So first, it's easy and automated. It provides easy and automated provisioning. So the deployment is easily repeatable since we're using templates. We have code that we launch and upload to AWS, and we can have the same result over and over for multiple deployments. And then it's easy to track, maintain, and use for large-scale infrastructure using stacks and stack sets. So unlike the manual provisioning using AWS Management Console, right? And then we can also leverage different features for better infrastructure management, like the change sets I mentioned a while ago. So if ever you have a change and you don't know if it will work yet, and then you don't want to like you don't want to have that risk of like destroying your working infrastructure, you can create a change set first and see your changes there. Okay, so if ever you're good with AWS CloudFormation, so that's the most basic tool for AWS IaC actually. But if ever like you want to explore different tools for infrastructure as code, we have a lot of like choices. So the first one is the using Terraform by HashiCorp. So Terraform by HashiCorp is actually not an AWS service, but you can use it with AWS. So it's a third-party tool. And then instead of using YAML, the one I showed you a while ago, you will use Terraform in HCL syntax. Or you can also use JSON like CloudFormation. So since it's not AWS managed, there's no out-of-the-box rollback for Terraform. And then state is not managed by AWS, but you can configure a separate state file that you can store remotely or locally in order to manage the state of your resources. And then lastly, for Terraform, it's cloud agnostic. So you can use it in other cloud providers, not only AWS. So I'll answer your questions in a little while, but I'll continue with the last slide, which is the other tools for IaC. So what AWS provides are resources like AWS CDK. AWS CDK is actually built on top of CloudFormation. It is a toolkit that uses CloudFormation, but is more for more developer friendly, I guess. So because it uses familiar languages like Java, Python. So it is more for people who already are familiar with AWS services and what AWS CloudFormation or IaC can do. So, but it definitely is useful and has more features than CloudFormation, but maybe for like more advanced, like mid-level expertise in AWS. They also provide OpsWorks, which you can use to configure and operate applications using Chef and Puppet. And then they also have AWS Service Catalog that allows organizations to create and manage catalogs of IT services that are approved to use on AWS. So this service catalog allows you to run a set of resources in one click since it's pre-approved and stuff like that. So third-party tools also that I won't discuss anymore but are very useful in your IaC setup are TerraGrant, Ansible, Chef, Puppet that you can explore if ever you're searching for tools that you'll use for IaC. All right. So I hope you learned a thing or two. I'll now like open the floor for any questions if ever you need clarifications for some of the topics I mentioned. Okay, I see some, but yeah.
I have a list of questions naman. I have gathered all of them, Miss Nika. So
Yay, nice.
so much for that wonderful talk and demonstration, Miss Nika. We have learned a lot, such as the key concepts, prerequisites, templates, and benefits of AWS Cloud Formation. Now, I'm sure you guys have a lot to ask to our speaker tonight. Kaya naman, again, the chat box is open for questions. So just ask away. So again, I have gathered a lot. So let's just start with the Q&A portion. So the first question is from Ted. How does AWS Cloud Formation differ from MongoDB?
Oh, so CloudFormation is actually a tool that we use to provision those resources. MongoDB, if I am not mistaken, is a database that you use. It's a resource that you can use to manage your application. So it's actually you can deploy it using AWS CloudFormation. AWS CloudFormation is just like an infrastructure as code tool that you can use to launch those types of databases, of resources. It's an automation tool. So instead of launching those things manually using the management console.
Okay, another simple question then from Sir JD. Required po ba that we need to learn how to code? If so, any recommendation?
Yeah, okay. So basically the essential thing we need as a prerequisite in running AWS CloudFormation are templates, right? So the templates, you are required to like code in a template, but coding using like AWS CloudFormation doesn't require any functions. So there are straightforward syntax. So in AWS, if you want to check it out, I provided a link on the slide a while ago, and those documentations of AWS actually provide sometimes honestly you can copy paste those syntax provided by AWS and then put them all together without actually modifying it, modifying the configuration like Linux, Windows, like the one I mentioned a while ago, the parameters. But um, minimal configuration is needed if ever you're not familiar with programming. Yeah.
All right, so another question from A. Salonga. Will there be a sandbox where we can practice coding in AWS?
Sorry, what is it?
Will there be a sandbox where we can practice coding in AWS? I think it's like he's asking
Yeah.
parang may playground lang where we can test, coding in AWS.
Okay, so actually, what I am personally using, I'm using acloudguru.com. Wait, sorry, is it correct? Yeah, so I'm using acloudguru.com. It has like free um playground that we use for AWS and other cloud providers, but it's provided by our company. But if you want to explore more about on AWS, you can like sign up for AWS. They have free tier, right, Darla?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have free tier, and like you just have to read the documentations on what's free and what's not. But I think it's 1 year. Uh yeah, so it's a 1 year free tier where you can like explore what you want to check out in AWS if ever.
Yeah, I think there's also AWS Educate where it's like learning paths naman. If you want
Yeah.
AWS. So again, we have two questions from Sir Darwin naman. First is, once created na po ba yung mga resources via CloudFormation like 10 instances and I want to terminate 3 of those, should we do it manually or may kailangan bang gawin sa CloudFormation?
Yeah, so if ever that will happen, like the template, you can modify it, or sometimes if ever you want like the number of instances to be automated, like you can use other tools also, like Ansible and stuff like that, to like use to like duplicate per instance at the same time. Yeah, I hope that answers
Another
it.
one from Darwin is, what if nag-launch po ako ng instance manually? Then I want to adjust the instance size or type. Possible po ba siya makontrol if gagawa ko ng bagong CloudFormation stack?
Oh, okay. So if I understood that question correctly, so for example, you launch that manually and then you want to like import it, like manage it then using the CloudFormation stack. If that's the case, you can import existing resources in AWS CloudFormation. So you can import it there, and then if ever you have imported it, you can actually make that part of that template. And then if it's part of that template, you can freely like change it already. But if ever you want to like change it directly using the console, you can actually do so.
All right, we have one from our FB Live. Just to know if the template is built in CloudFormation or need to configure manually. Is there like a basic structure? This is from Sir Loreto.
Oh yeah, so what I mentioned a while ago is that there are three main structures for the creating a template. It's so we have like parameters, resources, and then outputs. So if we like put those parts into a template, and then we can like launch an AWS CloudFormation stack. But if you want to like for really getting started with AWS CloudFormation, you can get pre-made templates from AWS, and then there's a click of a button like launching it directly to AWS. Yeah.
All right, so another question from Janashli. We will be notified if the stack config drifts or if the stack changes or modifications are made manually in CloudFormation.
Yeah. Okay. So in order to do that, it's not a native a feature that is provided by AWS CloudFormation, but you can set up other tools provided by AWS like CloudWatch, alerts, and alarms and stuff like that. Yeah.
All right, I guess we can have this last question from Mark.
Yeah.
Is CDK more flexible than CloudFormation?
Yes, it is. It's actually more flexible. So what some of you mentioned a while ago, like if you want like 10 instances and then you want to reduce it into 7 or stuff like that. Actually, that's not a native feature of AWS CloudFormation in YAML or in JSON. You have to like copy and paste the like each instance that you want. But using CDK, you can actually use the benefits of like the loops of like the programming languages available, the basic programming languages available like Python and Java, where you can do that so do that like multiplying the resources as much as you can, and then decreasing it if you want. Yeah.
All right, okay, last question na talaga from Dan.
Okay.
After read this kanina, don't worry, Dan will have this answered for you. Those instances that were just created, are they Linux VMs created via CloudFormation?
Yes, those are Linux virtual machines that we created, since we used an AMI. So it's called an AMI, an image we call AMI in AWS. So those include like OS and configuration for what we want the server to run.
Okay,
Um,
question na from Dan again. Ayan. Sige, Dan, ikaw na yung last natin for tonight. How to access those instances created? Like, how do you view it like a typical virtual machine?
do you have time, Darla? Do you want me to show you? No, not anymore now.
It's okay. I got na lang. If you have more questions, you may send
Yeah.
them. Ayan. So, Miss Nika,
Yeah, sige.
do you have any social media accounts like LinkedIn?
Yeah, sure. I have LinkedIn.
Do you have any upcoming events that you would like to promote?
Not really, but you can connect with me through LinkedIn. If ever you can message me there, I can actually we can have a demo if ever you want me to access an instance for you and stuff like that, for us to access the resources we launch using AWS CloudFormation. I'm very approachable, so don't be scared to message me on LinkedIn. I'm Nika. I think it's LinkedIn.Nika Medrano, if I'm not mistaken.
And I
Yeah.
think everyone enjoyed here. Like, a lot of people have been wanting a part 2. So if we can invite you next time, we will definitely do so. And everyone's been telling in the chat box now we're gonna rewatch the recording. It's like a really good session. So and thank you so much, Miss Nika. Thank you po, and we hope to see you in our next episode. So you
Thank
may
you so
now
much.
close your camera and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much, Miss Nika. And of course, hindi lang Community Ignite series ang handa namin for you. We have a lot of upcoming events that will fit your interests and skills. All right. So ano kaya? Ano yung first natin? So we are all set for batch 1 of AWS Restart. We are so excited to see you this coming March 21, 2022 for your first class. So don't forget to check your emails, yung mga kasama sa aming batch 1 for your Canvas invitation. At para naman sa mga interested in the program, don't worry dahil meron tayong batch 2 ng AWS Restart. So ano nga ba yung AWS Restart? So it is a 12-week virtual training program that covers fundamental AWS cloud skills as well as practical career skills such as interviewing and resume writing. It is to help individuals prepare for entry-level cloud roles. Again, the date for the second batch registration is yet to be announced. Kaya stay updated sa aming FB page. And then another one for all our AWS Educate participants, yung mga nag-register naman sa AWS Educate, so merong AWS Restart and merong AWS Educate. And for our AWS Educate participants, we would like to remind everyone to check your inbox or spam folders on your emails for reminders from us. Now, nakita niyo na sa ating PowerPoint. Are you curious what it's like to be a cloud professional? So you can spend an evening with us at the day in the life of a cloud practitioner. It's going to happen on March 29 from 6 to 8 p.m. Our friends and certified cloud champions from eCloud Valley will give you a glimpse of their work life with some storytelling or real-life experiences. Plus, you will be able to discover how to kickstart your career with the AWS Premier Consulting Partner, again, eCloud Valley. So how exciting! You may register in this link. So I'm gonna chat everything in the chat box so for eCloud Valley, you may register in this link and you can also win special and raffle prizes by clicking in the link in the chat box. And then, okay, sa ating mga participants tonight, are there any job seekers? Yan, yung mga naghahanap ng jobs. We are excited to announce an exclusive virtual career summit, the Emerge Career Summit, and we would like you to be a part of this flagship event. Ayan, Dan, it's your chance. Ayan na yung mga naghahanap ng jobs. Ayan, punta kayo sa Emerge Career Summit. It's a virtual career fair targeted at job seekers based in the Southeast Asia to land their next career opportunity. The opportunities on offer range from internships to full-time positions that are tech and non-tech in nature. So if you are keen on exploring potential roles or would like to speak to a recruiter, please join that event. So under day 1, so these are 2 days kasi, under day 1, they'll be focusing on tertiary students for internships and fresh graduates position. Then the next day, March 30, they're going to target early career to mid-career professionals. For this career summit, you may sign up here. Let me just chat it in the chat box. There you go. Okay, here's another question for you. Are you interested in earning as you level up as a developer through quests and tasks? Dun-dun-dun-dun. Angel Hack is proud to share that we will be partnering with StackUp to bring you an exclusive peek at their latest Learn and Earn platform. You can earn more than $500 as you tackle learning quests and follow guided bite-sized learning pathways. So you can learn all about Ethereum, Rust, and Python. Now here's how to get started. Let me just put it again in the chat box before I explain. So first, you will have to join StockUp Early Access Discord server. Then you need to head over to app.stockup.dev. Then you have to click that sign up and enter this early access code. Ayan, nilagay ko na sa chat box yung access code. And after that, you're going to create an account. Then you can now browse, complete quests, and earn rewards. So join StockUp as a player now and start earning as you learn. Now, calling all women here tonight, meron naman tayo for our pretty ladies in celebration of Women's Month. So organized by Organized by Builders Plus is a month-long celebration to help women level up their cloud skills by mentoring. So they are now in their upcoming third coffee session on March 20. So for the Certified Cloud Practitioner coffee session, it will be from 1 to 3 p.m., followed by the Solutions Architect Associate coffee session, 3 p.m. onwards. So if you want to join AWS Builders Plus coffee sessions, you may know more at this link. Ayan. Just take notes, guys. Ang dami kong link na chat sa chat box. Now, there is also a free certification study group focusing on the Cloud Practitioner exam organized naman by AWS User Group Philippines. Ayan. So, study group naman siya instead of coffee sessions. So, it's a series of 3 weeks of 3 hours. Kaya naman, if you guys are interested in studying for the Cloud Practitioner exam, like a peer-to-peer learning one, you may also, overwhelmed kami sa mga infos. Don't worry, Jezreel and Dan, lahat ng ito ay nasa Facebook page namin, nasa mga social media accounts namin. So make sure just to follow them, to stay updated. Ayan, so for the study group, you may know more about here. Ayan, so kita nyo naman guys, we have partnered with a lot of tech communities and organized events just for you. So for an overview, ayan, sa mga na-overwhelmed, let's have an overview for our events for the rest of the month. Ayan, so for March, ayan yung overview para di kayo overwhelmed. So we have an event for you this Saturday, 1 to 3 p.m. It is the Vous Comprenez ML and LLP for Dummies. So it is organized by our community partner, Pizza Pie, and it's an event that we will talk about basics of machine learning and natural language processing, and then how to implement it with Amazon Comprehend and other AWS tools. So pag dito naman kayo interesado sa ML and NLP, you may sign up here. Ayan, save nyo na lahat ng links. And then, meron din tayo ulit sa Saturday, but this time, it will be happening on 8 o'clock p.m. It is an event by PWA Pilipinas titled Hosting Static Websites on the Cloud Storage. So they will be also providing a certificate of attendance. Just make sure to register to the event via the PWA Pilipinas app here. Ayan, so ayan naman yung for PWA Pilipinas. And on March 24 naman is our 33rd episode called Building a Secure AWS Foundation, followed by the eCloud Valley event that I mentioned earlier. And matatapos naman ang ating month with the 34th episode of the Community Ignite series on March 31, Reignite AWS Cloud Foundations. Ayan! Again, you may stay updated with our upcoming events by following us on our social media accounts. And huwag yung kakalimutan sumali sa ating C-Club community dahil we have a lot in store para sa inyo. Lahat ng yan ay nasa Linktree. There you go. Lahat yan nasa Linktree, or you may scan the QR code on your screen. Yan. At syempre, di pa nagtatapos, meron din kaming pag-game sa inyo. So sino kaya ang next top CIS attendee ng March? Ayan, so ang ating CIS attendee, ang top CIS attendee for the March will receive an AWS credits worth $20. So all you have to do is post your CIS certificate per episode and post it on either Facebook, LinkedIn, IG, TikTok, and tag us on AWS Club Pilipinas and Edukasyon.ph. Again, post nyo lang sa social media and tag Edukasyon.ph, and AWS Club Pilipinas. Ayan. So, I have learned a lot from this 1-hour tech-driven webinar. I hope you guys learned a lot too, and I hope you enjoyed it. I am so thankful for a speaker again. Thank you so much, Ms. Nika. Now, I want to take this opportunity to invite you all to a follow-up with the speaker. So, open cam naman tayo dyan, including Ms. Nika. Lahat tayo ay magpa-picture sa ating speaker for tonight. Ayan, hello, John. Dalawang John na nakikita ko ngayon. Hello, Angela. Let me just go to the gallery view. Hello, Jaden. Hello, Paula. Hello, Joshua. Hello, Mark. In a count of 5, I will be taking a picture for 3, 2, 1. Okay lang yan, Alistair. Wala rin akong ligo. Ayan. Cheese! Okay, another picture. Naku, wala pa tayong AWS sign. Pero let's just do like a Korean heart or a peace sign. Kaya 3, 2, 1. Cheese! Ayan, thank you so much. Ayan, ito na nga yung e-cert, guys. So we would like to inform everyone that the e-certificate will only be given for the Zoom participants. So for our 300 participants here in Zoom, kayo lang po ang makaka-receive ng e-certificate. At para naman sa ating Zoom participants who wish to receive an e-certificate, you need to answer one question according to the webinar. And that one question will be found on our feedback form, go.edukasyon.ph/CIS32 feedback. Again, that's go.edukasyon.ph/CIS32 feedback. Ayan, go.edukasyon.ph. Here you go. I am typing the link right there. Ayan, go.edukasyon.ph/CIS32 feedback. So once again, we would like to thank not only our speaker, but our co-presenters as well. Thank you, AWS and AWS Club Pilipinas. And this ends the Community Ignite Series episode 32, Getting Started with Infrastructure as Code in AWS. Once again, this has been Darla David. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe, and I'll see you all next week. Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Thank you, everyone.
I will chat.
Thank you, Darla.
You've earned an AWS certification. Congratulations. Now what? Show your employer, colleagues, and your customers that you've met the bar set by AWS experts. Add your digital badge to your professional profiles and email signature to highlight your skills. Share it on your social feeds to celebrate with your network. And offer verification via email or on your resume. Cloud skills are in demand, and you have them. Share your AWS certified achievement today.